This company is called Ridgeline Minerals. Ticker symbol in Toronto on the Ventures Exchange is RDG. And they also have an American listing on the OTC QB exchange, well, extremely long, but RDGMF. This is a $15 million market cap company, so a little bit smaller than the previous ones, and they have an interesting CRD target, which I'm hoping to hear more about because CRDs have been hot recently. This one's in Nevada in the US, and they have a handful of other projects too, which we'll be hearing about from Chad Peters, their president and CEO. Chad, take it away.
Okay. Give me 1 second here, folks. Just got to plug in my iPad. So I'm a bit of a different, we're 20 million market cap now, by the way. Okay. That was a nice change this week.
Doing something right during the 101s?
I guess so, eh? All right, let me plug this in. There we go. Okay. Why is that not showing, guys? There we go. All right. Okay, everybody. So Ridgeline Minerals. We're a little bit different than some of the groups you've been looking at. You've been seeing a lot of resource stories, pre-development stories. What Ridgeline is a hybrid explorer. So we are focused on staking and acquiring district scale opportunities, making discoveries, selling those discoveries to bigger companies. We're already making some great inroads on that with some partnerships we've been doing. So really want to focus on today on our CRD discovery at our Selena project. This is 100% owned. CRDs, as was mentioned, are getting very exciting and a lot of traction in the market, and we think we're on to the next big one in the Western US. We also have a $30 million US joint venture with Nevada Gold Mines, which is a joint venture between Barrick and Newmont. That's on our Swift project. Tight share float with 10% management ownership. And like I said, we're a hybrid explorer. So what does that mean, right? It's a fancy word. But what we do is we acquire early stage projects, right? District scale. We advance those to a discovery. So for example, our Selena project, that is a 100% owned discovery. We want to move that to a maiden resource over the next 12 to 24 months, and then we want to monetize that. We want to get it in the hands of a South 32, a Rio Tinto, a group that's going to take it to production. We're not interested in taking projects to production. Our skill set is discovery. On the other side of that, we have our other basket of projects, which we're optioning off to groups like Nevada Gold Mines, and we're working with other major companies to add value, do deals, and see these projects get moved forward. So I'm going to focus just on 3 of our core projects today. I strongly encourage anyone, if you're interested, you want to get into the weeds, set up a meeting with me. We can walk through the geology of each project. Today we're going to focus on Swift, Selena, and Big Blue. These are our most active projects. Here's where you're going to see the catalyst coming out of Ridgeline in 2023. So as I mentioned, I didn't mention actually, but we just raised $4.5 million at 20 cents with a half warrant at 30. Rick Rule was the lead order on that financing. So Rick is now a large shareholder of the company. From a cap structure perspective, we have 91 million shares out. Management owns 10%. I myself own 4.2% of the company. I've literally put every dollar I have into this company, and my wonderful wife sitting in the back has been very understanding of that. So we're heavily aligned with our shareholders. We own 4.26% of this company ourselves. We want to make it a success. So we have a great shareholder base. I'm going to focus on the Selena project first. It's a high-grade CRD. So a lot of you are probably wondering, what is a CRD? So CRDs are carbonate replacement deposits. These deposits are associated with porphyries. They're what you could consider, if a porphyry is your main prize, then the CRDs are the rind of mineralization that forms around these porphyries. Now they can be world-class deposits in their own right, but they are always associated with a porphyry. So just to put a little perspective, our Selena project, we've already proven that it's 3.7 kilometers of drill-defined mineralized strike. Now some of the biggest CRDs in the world, such as Hermosa Taylor, which sold to South 32 for $2 billion back in 2018, that's a 4-kilometer long deposit. So we already know we have scale at Selena. We already know that we have grade. Our grade dwarfs that of many active CRDs that are being mined worldwide. Now the difference is we're still in the early stages, right? Sure, we found grade, we have scale, but we don't have a resource yet, and that's what we're going to be focusing on over the next 12 to 24 months. So looking at the project itself, this is the Butte Valley Porphyry. This is owned by Freeport-McMoRan. So that's that source that I talked about. Selena sits right off the edge. You look at the property itself, if it ever goes, there we go. So all the fluids that are pushing out of that porphyry they're forming the silver, the lead, the zinc, the copper mineralization that we see at Selena are pushing out of that porphyry system. So if you take a look back and kind of look at the bigger picture, you can actually define what type of deposit you're looking for based on the distance away from a porphyry, right? So what we've discovered is a CRD, silver, lead, zinc, got a little bit of gold, a little bit of copper in there as well. That's about 4.5 kilometers away from the porphyry. As we drill back towards the porphyry, we're hitting higher copper, higher gold, and we hope we're going to start hitting some tungsten as well, which the CRD here is a copper, gold, silver, tungsten porphyry that Freeport is exploring. So zooming in on the project itself, or on the, sorry, a 3D look here, we've already modeled out, you know, we're not far away from a resource, but we're not quite there yet. But that brown, that is the ore body, the shape of it as it sits. It outcrops at surface, right here. Over 1.2 kilometers of continuous down dip extent. We've hit up to 32 meters of 150 grams silver, 4% lead zinc. Included within that is 6 meters of 480 silver, 18.5% lead zinc. Now, if you were to put that into a silver equivalent, just for perspective, that's about 6 meters of 1,200 grams per ton silver equivalent. That is serious grade, right? We're talking about very high grade rock. It's continuous, and what's really exciting, we can zoom in here a little bit, is we've only just started kind of kicking in and seeing this high grade. So here's your fault zone. Whoops, did that. Here's a fault zone right here. That's our feeder, right? Along the fault itself, we're drilling intercepts of up to half a meter of 1,800 grams silver, 2% tungsten, and we're actually getting some copper in there as well. So that's a sign of the actual porphyry system itself, the feeder. Then you get off the edges, you're getting high-grade CRD. Every hole that we've drilled in this area has hit mineralization. Kind of spin this around, look at it from the other direction. Even 100 meters away from that fault, we've drilled up to 5 meters of 421 silver, 8% lead zinc. Now, as we drill core, we're finding that we're upgrading the grade of these zones. So we've drilled RC historically. Between RC and core, we see a dramatic upgrade in our grade because it's a clay-rich ore body. So lots of upside here, lots of potential to continue growing this thing. And we're going to be putting about 3,000 meters into the project this year, at least to start anyways, with the cash that we just raised. What we want to do is we want to prove that you have stacked mineralization beneath the known horizon. And if we're correct, we now have proven that you have over 3.7 kilometers to infill and test, right? So that could be a very exciting, very globally significant CRD discovery, and all it takes is we just got to drill it now, and we finally are financed to do that. So a few other things that we've been working on, looking at the Big Blue project. So we just staked this big copper project. We staked it and announced it in March. Now, this was a historic copper producer. In 1916 and 1917, guys with like a pickaxe and a donkey went and mined 90,000 pounds of copper at 6.2%. Now, if that mine were operating today, it would be the highest grade, second highest grade copper mine in the world. So think about that, 6.2%, very high grade, but hasn't seen any significant exploration in over 100 years. So you look at the Medicine Springs project, which Peter McGaw and the Reina Silver team are exploring just to the south. They have a CRD right here, right? Silver, lead, zinc. We have the copper mine right here. Somewhere between those two is that porphyry source. We believe it's sitting out in the valley. So this is an untested porphyry target with known copper on one side, known silver, lead, zinc on the other, and there's never been a drill hole for 4 kilometers in between. So these are the kind of things that we're doing, adding value, low cost, right? We stake this off the ground, put stakes in the ground, we now own it. So very exciting. We're either going to be advancing this ourselves or we'll be bringing in partners to advance this project in the future. And here's what some of those copper looks like. Pretty gaudy looking samples. We walked up on this stuff and got us pretty excited. So we're going to show you one last thing. This is our SWIFT project. Now this is our deal with Nevada Gold Mines. We did a deal with them in 2021. Nevada Gold Mines, again, are a joint venture between Barrick and Newmont. They are the largest gold producer on the planet. We came in, we did a 4-part deal, got 500,000 Canadian cash on signing. 20 million US has to be spent on this project for NGM to earn a 60% stake in the project. They've already spent 5 million in the first 18 months. All signs point to they're very excited. They can earn a total of 70% by spending another 10 million US. But my favorite part of the whole deal is actually the development option. So what we have is, let's say they go make a major discovery, they spend 30 million bucks. When they take it to production, we then retain a 25% free carried interest. So you as a Ridgeline shareholder will never dilute another share from here to get to here, with exposure to potentially a tier 1 discovery in one of the greatest jurisdictions for gold in North America. So here's just a look at the project location. what you're looking at here is the Cortez district. You have over 50 million ounces of gold just in the pink here that is all owned by Nevada Gold Mines. Now, the reason they did the deal with us, here's the Cortez Fault, the blue line. This is a major structural feature. All the mines are, obviously, you can see it right on the edge. Now, every time you get a cross-cutting gold mine, or a fault zone, you get a 10 to 20 million ounce gold mine. Now, we actually own the next cross-cutting fault zone. There's an old mine from the 1980s right here, another open pit mine there. No one ever tested beneath that in the 80s and 90s to see maybe if that gold goes deeper. That's why Barrick did the deal with us. These projects, every time you get a 5 to 7 kilometer stretch, you end up with another one of these 10 to 20 million ounce mines. So sure, it's conceptual, but we got the biggest gold mining company in the world that thinks there is potential here. They spent $5 million, like we said, and they've already started talking about this in their quarterly presentation. So this is from Q4 2022. Barrick came out, and the operator of the project, and they said, all right, we have all these projects here. These are tier 1 exploration projects. They also mention Swift, right? So all those other projects are owned by NGM. Swift is 100% owned by us until they spend $20 million. So this is a very low risk, high upside play for us. These are the kind of deals that we're doing to go along with our deals that we're doing at our own projects that we're exploring, like Selena, Big Blue. That's where we see that 100% potential for us to retain ownership and make a big discovery. But we're always trying to diversify a bit, lower our risk, but still keep exposure to some of these really exciting projects. So like I said, that's only 3 of the 6 projects that we hold. If you're interested in learning more, please reach out. Would love to set up a one-on-one. But that's all I got right now.
I had a question. Does anybody else have any questions just before?
I was just going to quickly ask for Swift, what percentage can Nevada Gold Mines get for their $20 million?
They earn 60%. Yeah, they can earn a total of 70% through staged work expenditures. They earn an additional 5% by taking the project fully carried all the way to first gold pour.
Anybody else? How's money, Chad, right now?
How's the cash? Yeah, we got 4.3 million in the bank. Low burn rate, we're a small company, so that's more than enough to get us all the way through 2023. Still have a little bit left over for 2024 as just, for G&A. But that also allows us to drill about 3,000 meters to start in the summer. And if we have success, we can allocate another, let's say, $1.5 million to drilling in the fall as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.